Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you guys are from, depending on where you are watching from. Wow. Crazy stuff going on. Like gold made a substantial move prior to the New York session. It almost hit the new all-time high, like wow, 2,100 points. That's huge. Absolutely huge. So we're looking right now on the 15 minutes chart. I can see here that, you know what? I'm just gonna start with the 1 hour because I really want to see where things are right now. So that buy side liquidity, SMT buy side on silver. Look at that. Nicey. Okay, so I want to start as usual by layering all the SMTs that occurred during the previous two sessions. And then I also like yesterday. And I also want to highlight some of those PD arrays that price reacted from. Just the fair value gaps that price reacted from. Okay. Okay. And not just the fair value gaps. No, sorry. Oh my God, what's wrong with me today? So not just the SMTs that were formed during the previous two sessions, Asia and London, but also what happened yesterday after the live stream ended. So I'm just gonna mark this as a flip zone here on gold. This area over here. Okay. Reason for that is because, well, you can see that's, I think there was some high impact news. I'm not sure if it was CPI or PPI or something, but you can see like the huge move that happened and then the break. So I might actually see price bouncing from there. Also, I'm really looking at this 1 hour BC that price kept on reacting on silver. Right now it looks as a inversion FEG. Okay, and I'm just gonna remove these those buy side liquidity areas from silver because they were already hit. Okay, now I also want to check what other SMTs formed. Nothing really on the 1 hour. So I'm just gonna check the 30 minutes, maybe even the smaller time frames like 15 minutes. Okay, I've also seen like on the 5 minutes, I think it's a little bit more visible. So this one and here, it's a bit off, I would say, this SMT, but whatever. I'm not necessarily thinking that price will continue to move lower, honestly. I mean, look at silver. Look at how it accumulated here, and then the move up that it had, like it's absolutely crazy, but we'll see. I was able to see this after it happened, but whatever. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution, and then pullback, and then a redistribution. And I want you guys to look at this move over here and see how perfectly it reacted from 12 minute open. Around 12 midnight, but at the same time from the equilibrium of this move to the upside that was actually responsible for breaking the manipulation over here, the accumulation over here. So this, to me, at this point, it's a bullish breaker block. Okay. Bullish breaker, bub. And bearish breaker would be like a BEB, bullish breaker block. Or yeah, I guess we could simply just mark it with a plus, like so, plus BB. Okay. Yeah, so as usual, I don't really have a bias. Obviously, I would be more inclined to consider that price will actually continue to push higher and that this is just a pullback, but we'll see. Guys, is there anyone's broker where gold already took out the all-time high? Any broker where price made a new all-time high? Because I'm checking on all the brokers that I have an account with, and I don't see making like an all-time high. London, what did London do here? Oh, okay, so there is also a nice SMT that occurred here at the low of the London session, and which means that there is sell side here. Okay, so SMT sell side. SMT sell side here. Also, I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see, you guys. We'll see. I'm not gonna jump into conclusions. Oh, it's gonna do this, it's gonna do that. Or jump in a trade, because I don't really have confirmation, you know, so it wouldn't make sense for me to take a trade without knowing why. Yeah, and I would really recommend that you guys do the same. If you don't know why you're getting in a trade, just don't. It's better. I'm curious. Oh, here is a very nice minor SMT area, a perfect one, I would say. So I would say that for now, this is like a very important point of interest over here. Yeah, I think I would love for price to go back to this area, like 3052-ish, and I'll decide what I think about it once it reaches there. If it reaches there, either gold, either silver. that 905 candle. And as far as I can see, on silver, there is also a SIBI on 905. So I'm also going to mark that out. Yeah. The 1 minute, I think it's also setting up like some sort of a SMT here. Anyway, if it's gonna go down without me, I'm totally fine. I don't care. Should be completely chilled. Okay, one more SMT area that occurred during the previous sessions. So that could also be an area of interest. Okay, nice. All right, so let me zoom in a bit. SMT sell side in here, and I want to see how price will react there. It might not actually just get to that SMT area, honestly. It might not necessarily, but we'll see. Could also be rejecting directly from here. We'll see. Huge ranges that gold is making today, like really huge ranges. If I'm gonna have a setup, I'll have to be very cautious with the calculation of the lot size, because it's likely gonna have to be a much smaller than usual position size, because when the market is this volatile, it's usually also the stop loss is going to be bigger, because, you know, bigger ranges. Yeah. Okay, so I see a lot of weakness here on gold, you see? Like a lot of weakness. Just look at this, how it created this minor SMT here on the 1 minute. And it did that as price was retracing into this 5 minute bearish fair value gap. And 932 candle. Once that candle closed, it already went down like 500 points, 50 pips, which is a lot, honestly. But we'll see, guys. I don't want to force anything, honestly. But my goodness, this area over here looks absolutely engineered. All this area, this one. They're really engineered. Okay, so it hit that. SMT, SSL. But the question is, what is it going to do with it, you know, with that SMT? I have a coffee. Okay. No more gold bears for today. I'm gonna take a break from gold bears. Okay, let's see what some of you are saying here in the chat. Today can go to 4,000. Who knows? Buddy, you're asking us in the chat if you can buy now. You can buy whenever you want as long as you know what you're doing, okay? Just make sure that you know what you're doing. So guys, just be patient, okay? Be patient. Don't jump into trades that you don't know why you're jumping in. It's not worth it, okay? It's better to stay with the money in your pocket rather than jumping in a trade you have no idea why you're jumping in it. Of course, if you know why you're taking a trade, then by all means, just take it already, okay? But if you don't do it. Just don't do it. It's really not worth it. I'm buying from around 30.26. You're holding a buy from there or what? Because if you are, that was a nice move that you took there. So congrats. So it seems April gold futures did make a new all-time high. Okay. We want to see what this thing is gonna do here. This little busy. The reason is because we had this minor SMT. Like the ranges that this thing is having are like insane, honestly. Truly crazy ranges. So just gotta be very careful, you guys. All right, so hit the like button. Hit the road, Jack. Don't you coming back? No. Really, if you don't hit the like button, don't you come back into my live stream, okay? Honestly, seriously, you gotta hit the like button. I mean, like there's 67 people watching and only 2 likes? 67 watching and only 2 likes? Come on, guys, seriously. Seriously. Why? Why? I don't get it. All right, let the likes come. That's more like it, isn't it? Honestly now. Maybe we're gonna get a huge bull run. What if? What if? Yeah, just the waiting game, you guys. There's literally like nothing else than just the waiting game. If someone would ask me right now, okay, it's a waiting game, but what exactly are you waiting for? I would just say the truth. I don't know what I'm waiting for, but once I see it, I will know it is that thing that I'm waiting for. Yeah. That's the best explanation of a successful trader. How do you take trades? I don't know. I just wait for them to come to me. Okay, and what exactly are you waiting for? I don't know. I just know when I see it. Oh my god. Yeah. Funny, funny, honey bunny. Ooh. I like how silver is creating some sort of a minor bullish order flow here on the 1 minute. But I'm curious, what's gold doing? It's here. You guys, do you remember that Raja Banks was in the live stream yesterday? So New York low on gold took out London low, and silver, New York low haven't take out London. Seems like it. Yeah, it is. Let's say what it's going to happen. Okay, so important thing that's going on over here, okay? It's the fact that silver took out this minor SMT buy side liquidity over here. All right, there. And so right now, I'm curious to see what will gold do because like I said a little earlier, silver was definitely setting up some minor bullish order flow in here, okay? But I also want to see what gold is doing. You guys, it's so windy in here. Like all day it has been crazy windy, like super windy. Like I can hear the wind outside, like whoo, whoa, oh my god, oh my god. Crazy. Oh Jesus Lord. We gotta sing to gold, you know, in order for gold to create a beautiful bullish setup for us. So I'm gonna sing right now, okay? Don't laugh. Old MacDonald had a farm. Yeah, yeah. Guys, don't ask me. I think this is the first song I learned in English, the first like English song I learned as a kid, and I have no idea where I heard it, like literally no idea. Yeah. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Wow, new coffee flavor, and it's a little bit addictive. This one's salted caramel flavor. It's really good. Boom, 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 boom. What if we don't get an entry? Well, Alex, if we don't get an entry, that's fine. You're spending good quality time with the people that are here in your live stream. Yay! Was old MacDonald a gold trader? Yeah. He became a gold trader after he sold his farm, because that's why the song says old MacDonald had a farm, because he sold it. William is asking, what country do you originate from? You're asking me, William? Or someone else in the chat? Because if you're asking me, I am from Romania, Romania, Romania. Beautiful Romania. The train left the station? I wonder. Wonder. We shall see. Gosh, I remember when I started using TradingView. I was so clumsy. Oh my God. So clumsy. And right now, I love it. I actually love it. Like, I wouldn't be able to stay without TradingView. I think it's so cool. Coolest thing ever. Go. Yup. Old MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. Wow. It's going. It's going. I don't know how or if I mean, not on the 5 minutes, definitely. But definitely on the 1 minute. Yeah. And it's not gonna stop. I don't think it's stopping, honestly. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to talk too. So guys, tomorrow there will not be a live stream. Okay? There will not be a live stream tomorrow. "35 seconds until the current 5-minute candle closes." I honestly don't think that we're going to get an entry on the 5 minutes. I think we've missed the trade. I honestly think that we've missed the trade. I've missed the trade. Not we. I missed the trade because I'm trading. So yeah. So I was saying there's not going to be a live stream tomorrow, okay? And Monday, there might be a live stream. I try not to stream on Mondays because it was proven multiple times to me that Mondays are not that good days to trade. So yeah. So yeah, we're not gonna have a stream tomorrow, and I'll think about it whether we're gonna have a stream on Monday or not. All right, so I haven't taken this yet, okay? It's still not ready. All right, just so you know. I'm measuring. That's all. So there's no trade confirmation yet. Just so you know. All right, so just hold your horses. Don't be crazy to do something you're going to regret later. Baby, I'm a gangster too. So not yet, okay? I don't have any trade. All right? Just so you guys know, I don't. I'm thinking and waiting. Oh my God. Besides this, to be honest with you, like, it feels weird to look for a short. I don't even know why, but it feels really weird to look for a short. Plus, my trade idea is about to be invalidated. Yeah, really weird to look for short setups. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. 5 minutes. What about Fridays? Are they good for trading? Yeah, I think Fridays are good for trading. But usually if I'm happy with the profits that I made during the week, like for example, this is the 3rd day of trading for this week. I mean, I did take a trade on Monday as well when I didn't have a live stream. But only because it was like the perfect setup. However, Usually if on Fridays I'm happy with the profit that I made during the week, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to force myself not to take any more trades on Friday, because I just want to start the weekend right. You know, I don't want to start the weekend by risking the profit that I made, you know, making a stupid mistake or something like that. So I think it's really important to have an idea about what your profit target for the week is, you know, and if you've reached that, just and you still have 1 or 2 days trading left for the week, just it doesn't make sense to trade anymore, my opinion. I mean, not with your normal risk. I don't do that. I set targets. Once I reach them, I just relax my trading or my lot size or whatever. I trade just for fun. Or I'm very curious, how do you know if it won't continue bullish from the SMT divergence at the bottom? From this one? Well, yeah, it can actually continue because looking at whatever was going on in here, the ignition point, how I like to call it, okay, of this most recent like crazy move that occurred here. So the ignition point of that is right here, all right? The 540 candle on the 5 minutes, and we're gonna mark that like ignition, ignition point, all right? Let's make it blue. And so the ignition point of the most recent like crazy move that occurred in the market is this one, all right? The reason why I consider the push to the upside, this one, to be crazier than the push to the downside is because even though they are equal in the number of pips that it took them, you know, the size, right? It's actually, it happened in less time. Like for example, the move to the upside occurred in 11 candles. So 11 candles times 5 minutes, that's 55 minutes. So roughly an hour. Whereas the push to the downside occurred, it's the same amount of pips, but this one occurred within 17 candles, 17 bars. So that's more than 50% more time. The same number of pips, but 50% more time it took price to go down. All right? So that's why I consider the push to the upside to be crazier, like more relevant. Yeah, more relevant. I think that's the good word. So at this point, what I'm thinking, actually not what I'm thinking, but what's actually going on is the fact that we had an SMT divergence over here, like that. All right, and the same ignition point, which is here on silver, we did not take that one out, okay? In fact, silver retested the 1 hour SIBI that we kept on eyeballing for the past week, like since Wednesday, since Tuesday this week when I had the first live stream. I kept saying about this fair value gap on silver here on the 1 hour. Okay, it's the 1 hour, it's the 3 a.m. candle on March 20th. And that right now is, for now, it's an inversion fair value gap. Okay, so silver came down into the inversion fair value gap, created a higher low compared to gold, which created a lower low, and then gold, after it created that lower low, it started to push higher. So I was thinking, looking at the 1 minute, that this push to the upside might be a pullback, okay, and then it might actually want to continue lower. However, reaching at this minor SMT buy side liquidity over here, it didn't really have the rejection that I hoped for, that I was wanting to see. Okay, that's why I had my short prepared here. I was calculating based on the stop loss, whatever risk to reward ratio. However, that did not give us an entry confirmation. So the only reason why I was considering a short was maybe as a rejection from taking this minor buy side liquidity, you know. But you know, I should have figured that it's most likely not going to do this, because the first time when silver took out that buy side was here, and then it retraced just a little bit and then it continued to push higher, you know. So that should have been just a sign that it's likely not going to use the buy side to bear it with smart money shorts and go lower. It's actually going to use it as fuel. But yeah, that's why I always say don't trade if you don't know why you would take the trade. It doesn't make sense to open a trade without knowing why. It really doesn't. All right, so I'm going to remove this SMT from here. Okay, that SMT BSL, minor one. And yeah, we're going to wait and see what gold will do next. Yeah. All right. Someone asked me, Alex, how come your English is so good like mother tongue? I like English more than I like any other language on the planet, honestly. And I've been learning English since 2nd grade, so I think that's why. I also, like, when I was living the corporate life, I also, like, all my jobs, not all, but most of my jobs were actually jobs where I was speaking with people from the United States, because I was working for some outsourcing companies that were providing customer support for mobile companies from the United States, Sprint, TNT, AT&T, whatever. And I worked, I spoke to a lot of people from the US, and I was forced to have like a perfect accent so that they would not figure out that I'm not, that I'm actually, an outsider trying to help them fix their problem with their mobile company, whatever. Because then if back in the days, like this was happening about, I think 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago, where people would call, I would answer. Thank you for calling Sprint. My name is Anna Watson. I had an alias. That was my name, Anna Watson. And then they would say, yeah, well, I have this problem with Sprint. Sprint fucked me up, whatever. Sprint being the mobile company of the client. And then I would try to help them, but, they wouldn't accept any solution from my side if they would eventually hear or sense a bit of an accent, like foreign accent. And this actually forced me to, to adopt like a really good accent. So yeah, 5 minute looks nice to enter on the retest on the first fair value gap. Yeah, it did, but it didn't retrace there. So unfortunately, I think where I missed the shot with this trade, on the 1 minute, could have taken that definitely once it reclaimed this bullish fair value gap, this one over here, because you see the one at 944. So we had this SMT divergence, all right, which you can see here and on silver right here. And then after that, gold created the bullish fair value gap on 944 candle on the 1 minute. It closed under it, and then it came back and it rejected off of it again, but then it was just not going lower. And it was at that ignition point where that we marked a little earlier, and it had also just barely kissed the 12-minute open. And then with the 953 candle, it reclaimed that bullish fair value gap. So I think that with the next candle, like, okay, maybe not with 953 closing, maybe not there, but waiting for price to close above here and turn this into like a change of character over here. You see this? That would have been something, yeah. And then, and we were also at the flip zone that we marked on the 1 hour a little earlier when the stream started. This one, right? It's marked with flip zone, and you can actually see that in here, flip zone. So once this occurred, yeah, I think that break to the upside with the 954 candle, and that was also the moment when the 5-minute CB, this one, let me go to the 5-minute and show you this one, see, turned into a bullish inversion, and then it retested it and then started rejecting. So that would have been like a good moment to take the long on the 1 minute, but yeah, it didn't happen. So I think that that's where I missed the entry on the 1 minute. I was more focused on waiting for price to reach at this minor buy side area and see what it's going to do from there, rather than waiting or, you know, identifying whatever it is that's going on here at the bottom. But it is what it is. And then on the 5 minutes, maybe I'm not saying, but right now looking at it, even though it's not an entry criteria for me, but maybe once price rejected off of this 945 candle, so we had a close above it, and then the wick of this 955 candle touching there, also the bearish fair value gap, which now became inversion, and then it started to move up, you know. So maybe once the 955 candle closed, which was at 10 a.m., then could have taken that as a long. But now, even if I would have done that, like my stop loss, where would I put it? Okay, I would put it under the maybe under the inversion, and targeting the buy side above here. Yeah, that would have been an option, but it is what it is. I didn't do it, didn't take it, so it's fine. I'm not gonna beat myself up for that. All right. We might not. I might not actually get any setup for today. Ooh. Oh my god! So I sank to gold, and it gave me a setup somewhat, and then I didn't do anything with it. That is so lame. So lame. Okay. Someone said just exited a trade, took it on the 1 minute at the 950 candle. Okay, so let's see. So this guy, I'm assuming he took a long on the 950 candle. 950. So here. Okay. But just like I said, okay, next time, maybe it's gonna be less risky for you. I mean, a lot less risky for you to wait for this bullish fair value gap, which it was invalidated, but it didn't really become an inversion, okay? But it was invalidated, so maybe you might actually want to wait for that fair value gap, this one, last bullish fair value gap, to be reclaimed, okay? Which, like I said a little earlier, it happened with the 953 candle, and then the 954 candle also created that change of character, whatever, minor break of structure. So this guy says he took that trade on the 950, and then because, well, whatever, market retraced to 0.75 level of the fib, whatever, Also the bullish divergence confirmation, this one on the 1 minute. And then he said he got out at 30.46. All right, so entered here and then got out at 30.46. Oh, buddy, you actually did this really, really nicely. Wow, good job. Good job, good job. So that's like, oh, 100 pips. Well done. Nice. Well done. I'm learning a lot from you. Thanks, Alex. Well, if you're learning a lot, I'm glad. I hope you liked the stream. Someone says, I have just joined this live. Do you normally have live trading sessions every day? I'm definitely having live trading session Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Monday and Friday, it's debatable. It's debatable, but there won't be a live stream for tomorrow, so that's a sure thing. That's a sure thing. So I don't know if there's going to be a live stream on Monday. 3-minute time frame gave a risky entry stop loss wise on the long SMT at the same level of the potential short. Yeah. $73. No, let me refresh. Let me refresh, because then you're going to argue with me again. Alex, you don't have only 2 likes, have more. 73 people watching, 59 likes. Not bad, but we can do better. We can do better. Can I like my own live stream? No, I don't think. Yes, like the stream. So we were saying that old MacDonald had a farm. See, now there's like, looking on the slightly bigger time frames, like for example on the 15 minutes, there is absolutely no reason for which gold might actually want to start going down right now, okay? Because think about it like this, and I've said this many times, there are only 2 reasons for which price will ever move. So right now price is moving upwards. One of those reasons is, 1, it wants to rebalance an imbalance. So it means that what? It means that it's moving up because there is an imbalance a little higher, like a bearish imbalance, a bearish fair value gap, and price goes there to rebalance it, and then it's likely going to come down. But if we look, and the second reason is liquidity. So at this point, since price goes up, okay, it goes up for one of the following 2 reasons. Either because it wants to rebalance an imbalance, in other words, it wants to rebalance a SIBI, okay, or because it wants to go for liquidity. And because it goes up, it wants to go for buy-side liquidity, all right? So now think about it like this. The first reason, it wants to rebalance an imbalance, a SIBI. SIBI's on this last push to the downside, right? Like if we're looking here on this down push, there is no bearish fair value gap that is in between this high and in between where price is right now, so that it would make sense that, well, gold goes up only to rebalance whatever the fair value gap would be around here, and it's not going to hit that high, and then it's going to start going down. Okay, at least from a 15-minute perspective, that's not the case. From a 5-minute perspective, I don't see another fair value gap, like bearish fair value gap on this down move that was left imbalanced, like not balanced, that price might actually want to go up to rebalance. Okay, however, I would definitely say that this is the case for silver. So I'm going to mark this one over here on silver. All right, and we're going to see what it does once it reaches over there, because there might be a chance, think about it, there might be a chance where silver is going to stay stuck in this bearish fair value gap. All right, well, while gold goes up, takes out this buy side, takes out that SMT buy side, which is at the all-time high. It's going to create a new all-time high, and then it can actually start moving downwards, and then silver could actually show a rejection from this bearish fair value gap. All right, if that would be the case, I wouldn't be able to take this trade, like a bearish trade like this, without waiting for gold to create a bearish fair value gap and then tap it and then go lower. All right, at least on the 1 minute. And so on gold, at least 5-minute doesn't have any bearish fair value gap on this piece of price action that was left imbalanced, so that it would justify why gold keeps going up. So if it's not going up because it wants to rebalance on a SIBI, why? Because there is no other SIBI. All right, maybe there is some on the 1 minute, who knows? Okay, there's one tiny little one over here. Okay, let's just mark that. All right, just like that. Okay, even though you see how it went above it, like look at it here. See, tapped it one time here, rejected, but not with the bearish fair value gap. Went above again, inside of it, tapped that. Seems as if it's rejecting, but it's actually rebalancing this BISI. And then it just closes above it and creates another BISI, this one over here. All right, so this is the actual order flow that the price action is currently in, which is bullish. Okay, so at this point, if there is no reason for gold to go up to rebalance a bearish fair value gap, why? Because there isn't any. Then the other reason for which price is going up on gold is the second one. So if it's not the first one, then it's definitely the second one. It goes for buy side liquidity. And where is the first line of buy side liquidity? Here, minor SMT. Where's the second? Here, minor SMT, or whatever, SMT, right? Then where's the other one? Here, all-time high. All right, and then where's the other one? Well, if it breaks above an all-time high, then the sky is the limit. Okay, now when I say the sky is the limit, doesn't mean that it will most likely continue to go up after it goes above the all-time high. Just as it might continue to go higher, it might also reject. Okay, the only thing, or the only way in which we can know which one of these two is going to happen is just wait in order for price to reach at an all-time high, at the all-time high, and then see what's going to happen there. But it's not going to be relevant to see something happening like a bearish candle forming on the 1 minute, for example. You're going to need a setup that's going to develop during multiple candles. Okay, just having like, well, price went above the all-time high, and then the last bullish candle that it created, which let's say it's this one, it then started to break that with a bearish candle and it closed under it, and that's my entry to sell. You know, that's my signal to sell, and that's on the 1 minute. It doesn't make sense to do it like this. Okay, it doesn't. So that's why I was saying a little earlier, what am I waiting for? I don't know. I will know when I see it. Okay, I will know when I see it. And yes, maybe I should have known that I could have taken a long here, because I did see it. I did mark the SMT, I did mark the fair value gap over here, I did mark all of these things that eventually price respected, and it started to go up from there, right? However, if I have conflicting ideas about price starting to go up, but at the same time, I'm also thinking that, well, I want to see what it does when it reaches here, because that might actually be a possible point of interest for short trades, then I just rather not take any trade. Because again, not taking any trade, it's still a win. Why? Because you keep the money in your pocket. Okay? At least that's how I view things. Okay, let's clean up these things a little bit in here with ignition points and whatever, flip zones and whatever. Okay, so I hope it makes sense. I hope it made sense what I was saying. And silver is not respecting that 5-minute SIBI. So, and see the way it pushes above the minor SMT areas. Like, look at how it pushed above this area, which was minor SMT buy side. Okay, it's definitely a run on liquidity. This is not a liquidity sweep. Okay, definitely not a liquidity sweep, and you can see that. Okay, so it reached all-time high. I think any moment now, my Alexa is going to say, Alex, gold reached all-time high. And also, I see here silver reaching something that is marked with SMT buy side. Okay, that's not like an all-time high for silver, but it's definitely an old high. Now it's going to be really interesting to see, because at this point, how much is this range? Wow, almost 800 points. That's a lot. $39 candle. Yeah. Oh my God. Not the reaction I would expect after reaching an all-time high. Neither to reject nor to continue. Like, I feel even more confused right now. even more confused, honestly. Because I'm usually expecting that once price breaks through an important high, if it wants to continue, you're going to see that, like it's just going to burst, you know, which it didn't do here. And if it wants to reject, it's just going to reject, which it isn't happening. But yeah, let's not jump into conclusions because it just hit that high like 3 minutes ago. So someone's asking how many years of trading, how many years of trading do I have? I think 8, but really consistent and serious about it and everything, about 5 years. Also, I'm looking through this accumulation area over here and looking at this candle on 5 minute. Just, it feels like it sucked in all the liquidity that was accumulated here. So yeah, I would think maybe a bullish continuation. But we shall see. That's like me with that, like, you guys know what? I don't even know how a Romanian accent should sound like. I don't even know. I tried to fake like a Romanian accent, but I don't know how. Weird. All right, guys. Yeah, I'll take a small break. Okay, I'll be right back. 2 minutes, no more. So, what's going on? What is going on? Not so much happening. Not so much happening. Slightly higher here on silver as well, but rather equal highs. You know where my projection for price going up is? I'll show you where my projection is. Here, 3083. That's my projection. And the reason for this is very simple, like really simple and pretty obvious, right? Once I put the fib, we've got the expansion, we've got the return to equilibrium, okay? Not to the equilibrium of this expansion, but to a price level that the market considers to be a fair price for 1 ounce of gold, which is what we're trading. Okay, we're trading 1 ounce of gold. All right, so expansion, pull back to the price which the market considers to be a fair price for 1 ounce of gold, and then another continuation up in order to, you know, in order to close the whole cycle, you know. And the way in which I put the fib from where the expansion started, okay, I drag it up till the moment where I reach with the 50% of the fib at that low. Why that low? Because that's the last pullback that occurred and then another expansion started. Okay, so if we go by the idea that a pullback goes to equilibrium, and in here, I can clearly see that this push to the downside, this bearish pullback, did not reach all the way to the equilibrium of this up move, which would have been around here. Okay, it definitely did not do that. Then it means that this pullback did retrace to an equilibrium price level, but it's a like invisible equilibrium price level, preset equilibrium price level. It's not one that it's dependent on the last push to the upside. Okay, so yeah, 3082, 3083 ish. You just mark that level. Okay, mark that level, and we'll talk when price reaches there and it's gonna stop going any higher. Because it's not just going to reach there, it's going to stop from going any higher. I don't know if it's going to reject from there and start going down, but it's definitely going to stop. At least it's going to do that. At least it's definitely going to stop. So yeah. Okay. Oh my god, I left the music like it's too loud. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I think it should be better now. I forgot about the music volume. My bad. So someone says that asking if I use ICT 2022. I don't. I didn't even see that YouTube series that he did on his 2022 mentorship. I only watched like 2 episodes, I think, of that. There were some episodes about market structures, intermediate term highs and lows, short term highs and lows, and long-term highs and lows. That's the only episode that I watched. I mean, there were 2 episodes too. I stopped watching ICT, not because I think his content is rubbish. I definitely don't. I mean, all my knowledge is from him. Not all my knowledge, but what I use right now is from him. But I stopped watching because he just comes up with concepts or different ways to explain the same concept, like every year, every month, every 2 months, whatever. And I just got tired of too many things, too many concepts, new stuff to learn about. I was just fed up. And I said, you know, I will never be able to do something with the knowledge that I have right now if I keep on accumulating new knowledge. And then I just said, well, I'm not going to watch anything from him because then it's going to sound super nice, super interesting. And then I'm going to say, well, yeah, let me try that out. And because I know that's what I usually do. Find out about something new. Ooh, well, let's look into that. And yeah. Anyway. So right now my mind is looking for, like, I'm searching through my archive for situations, cases in the past when price reached at an all-time high and it stopped there without actually showing signs of wanting to continue higher right away, or without showing signs that it wants to reject right away. So I'm thinking, okay, what did it do? I can't come up with any example. I don't know why. It's like all examples were erased from my mind. It's like price never reached an all-time high before. It's weird. Anyway, I'll just stick to my 5 minutes and that's it. And then I'll go to the 1 minute, see something happening, and then I'll say, oh my God, why didn't I take this on the 1 minute? Yeah, shining new object syndrome, not helpful at all in trading. Yeah, exactly. That's how it's called. I mean, I'm not sure if like scientifically it's called like that, but yeah, that's exactly what I meant. You see something new, you think, oh my God, look at that. It looks interesting, sounds interesting. And then you just want to go all in. And it's never good in trading, because with every new concept that you introduce, or with every new strategy that you want to adopt, you're just like going back to zero, you know, with all your knowledge and everything. Oh my God. So the last message in the chat is in Romanian. Okay, so Alina, she's not my cousin, but she is my best friend since when I was a child. Wow. And she's watching? Alina, hi. Wow. Nice. Okay, guys, I'm in this one. Thinking about it, like a TP level. I'm just gonna go with 1 to 2 first. Okay, just random 1 to 2. Okay, so I got filled at 30.55.12. 30.55.12. This is where I got filled. Okay? Okay, so let's see. So, like I said, I'm first gonna go for 2R. Okay, like I'm gonna leave TP at 2R. As usual, once it reaches 1R, I'm gonna bring stop loss at break even. Okay, so 1R is gonna be around here, sort of. Okay, so I'll just put here TP at break even once it reaches here, and then I'll be aiming for 2R, sort of like this. All right, and then I'll see if it's going for more. And I really don't want silver to create a new high. Okay, I wouldn't want that to happen. Like, or if it does create a new high, I would want it to immediately reject from it. Okay, so I'm sort of like wanting this high here, the high of the 1058 candle on silver, to not be violated And if it will get violated, I want it to reject immediately. I don't want it to continue pushing above it, okay? So I got a 1% risk on this, and yeah, we'll see. Mm. And I'm also, like, at this point, what I want to see is I want to see that the bearish order flow that seems to be starting right now on gold will actually be respected. So with every push into a fair value gap, the new move to the downside that's going to occur, not necessarily immediately after that, but it can actually do this as well. But if it's going to start like a new down move, I want it to create a new high. I wanted to create a new low. Oh my god, not a new high, new low. For now, I don't really like what's going on silver. Not a fan of it, to be honest. But we'll see. As long as gold doesn't follow, that's fine. I'm also paying attention to the fact that gold reached into this M5 BISI, the 1035 BISI. If it's just gonna start continuing, or it can even continue to stay right where it is right now for the next 2 minutes, which is how long it's gonna take for the current 5-minute candle to close. The bottom idea, or the main idea here, is that I want this candle to create that bearish fair value gap. So I want that bearish fair value gap on the 5-minute to be created, you know? And it can happen if gold goes down with the current candle, right? Which is like 1 minute and 30 seconds until it's going to close. Or it can also happen if the candle will just stay as it is and then the fair value gap will form, all right? So yeah. We'll see. Gold just reject leaving bearish FVG. Yeah, I like the fact that it did that. This 1102 FVG. But I would have liked for it to, you know, once it went up into the fair value gap and then it created this rejection candle, the 1106. I would have loved to see it go under this low. But we'll see. 30 seconds till the current 5-minute candle is going to close. I also want to see. So we're also in a 15-minute BISI. 30-minute. 30-minute might be respecting whatever support is forming here. We'll see. 1 hour, same. So it's just a thing that I developed. Whenever I'm in a trade, I want to look for reasons why price will continue to move in my favor, or obstacles that price might find in moving in my favor, you know, because both are equally important. Now, it's very important to not let yourself, you know, tricked out of the trade before actually having like an invalidation of your trade idea or something like that. Okay, but it's also important to know, to make sure that the price action that forms, that with every new candle that closes, price will continue, or the story behind every candle will continue to match the story that you've already made in your head, which is the first thing that made you take the trade in the first place, you know? So there's a story in my head that made me take the short, all right? And with every new candle that forms after I enter my trade, I want to make sure not just that that story will continue to be supported, okay, by price action, but at the same time that I'm not going to start seeing the opposite side of the story starting to develop, you know? I hope it makes sense. So that's very, very important for me, at least. It's extremely important. You know, for example, another thing, like if gold is just going to slightly go under this low here, or, you know, make them like slightly equal lows, it's also going to, and then start to reject, like it's also going to be a little concerning for me, because just look at silver in relation to this area here, which is this one here, you know? So silver is not really supporting the idea of starting to go lower, or slightly continuing to go lower. So I'm actually thinking, maybe it's not, maybe my stop loss is not where it should be. The reason I'm thinking this is because if I have a bearish order block here that was already retested and then rejected off of, price should not go back to that order block. You know what I'm saying? So maybe the mean threshold, the midpoint of that order block, would actually be a better stop loss placement. I'm not going to adjust the TP, honestly. But it could definitely be a better stop loss placement. And I'm just going to put this like that in here. So it's going to be bearish order block, CE, okay, constant put encroachment, slightly above that. And you can already see how it doesn't really look that. We'll see, okay, we'll see. Stop loss is not that big. And right now I actually have less than 1% of a risk, because I have 1% on this move to the upside. Okay, which I have one standard lot, one contract, or whatever. I don't know what it's called. I just say one lot, one standard lot. Right now I have like a little over half of that, like 0.6%. But I'm going to leave the TP where I would normally have had it. And here you can see exactly what I did not really want silver to do. See? And this area here, just like I said a little earlier, I wouldn't really want to see gold creating like lower, like slightly lower low or equal lows, sort of like relatively equal lows here. Because look at silver, what it's doing. Like it's definitely not looking to go down, or it wasn't looking to go down here, as gold was seeming to start wanting to go down here. Now, maybe you might ask me, okay, so Alex, if you're seeing all these signs, why aren't you closing the trade? Because at the same time, we still have not invalidated this bearish fair value gap, all right? And at the same time, we still have like an active SMT, whereas gold still creating lower high and silver creating higher high, all right? So it's still an SMT divergence that could mean incoming weakness on gold. And that sort of like can make sense considering we're at an all-time high. Okay, but like I said, we'll see. My trade idea is only going to be invalidated once price will reach like into the order block here, and if it's going to violate the midpoint, it's going to take me out, and that's it. And if not, not. So yeah. But silver definitely shouldn't have done that. Like, okay, so it reached back into the order block. We'll see what it does from here. I don't think it's going to reject. I think it's going to take me out, but I'm fine. I'm only going to lose like $300 or so. So that's completely okay. So someone asking, Francis, hi Francis, isn't the midpoint of an order block a mean threshold? Yes, it is. It is. Mean threshold, I don't know, mean threshold or consequent encroachment, to me it's the same thing. I don't know if it is the same thing conceptually, but to me it is the same thing. It's the midpoint of a PD array. And if the order block is the PD array in this case, then yeah. That's the thing with it. It's doing what it's supposed to do from that bearish order block. It's doing the right thing, but will it continue to do that? I don't know. Because see this bearish FEG here on the 11:02 candle, closing above the midpoint, and then, you know, going back, rejecting, and then going back inside of it with the 11:15, and then rejecting with the 11:16 candle, which also created like a busy. Anyway, we'll see. We shall see. Yeah, just look at silver, you guys. Like, it's definitely reaching out for somewhere, and it has some higher, like some buy-side liquidity higher here. What I do like, okay, what's still okay, it's the fact that, oh wow, yeah, it's still not a confirmation that it's gonna start to move down, but we'll see. What it's okay still, it's the fact that gold did not yet create a higher high like silver. That's still okay. It's still fine. Now on the 5-minute, what I see is that we did create this bearish fair value gap here that I was wanting to see. That one, see? but it doesn't really feel like it really wants to respect it. And I'm curious, during the 11:10 candle, what happened on the 1 minute? Yeah, so we just created this push to the upside, which sort of like closed a little worrying into the bearish fair value gap here on the 5 minutes. Anyway, we'll see. I keep on saying, we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. But this is the truth. Like, there's, like, you just gotta let the trade do its thing. Reach an outcome, whatever that is. So this is the 5 minute CB. If you could reclaim that. Anyway. Let's say you haven't entered a short. Can the rejection from 1102 CB be a confirmation to take a sell? Which rejection? This one. It might not, because you see, if you would consider like an SMT like this, you also had silver creating a lower high here. See, it would have made sense if you had the fair value gap, move into the fair value gap and then reject. So you had a lower high here on gold, and you had silver going up, creating a higher high during the same time when gold was just going up only into the fair value gap. That's when it would have made sense to take the entry there. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I took the trade. The reason why I took the trade is because I had this mark in here, this low. So we went above an all-time high, created this, you know, small bearish fair value gap, 1152. And then price tried to push higher, it couldn't. And then I said, okay, so if it's going to break under the 1053 candle, then it means that that's going to be like a change of character. And especially if it would start to do that, like with momentum to the downside, then that would make sense even more, that it really wants to push through that level and maybe go lower. So that's why when I started seeing this 1102 candle breaking under that low, I entered, because also this CB 1052 was reclaimed with the 1101 candle, and then breaking under this low, okay, it like bearish fair value gap reclaimed plus what seems to be a minor change of character at an all-time high with a fair value with an SMT divergence. So that's why I took the trade. Okay, I'm gonna write somewhere in the comments what minute are we in. Like, we've been live streaming for like 117 minutes. So I'm just gonna put a comment somewhere. I don't know if I can do that. I can't, but at minute, what minute is it? Like 117. It's the trade breakdown, okay? The reason for taking the trade, so that, you know, people can actually go back when they will rewatch the live stream. They can go back and to that moment exactly and see the trade breakdown. I'm hungry, by the way. So I really hope that gold, it's just gonna start moving either direction. I don't care, because it's already 5:25 in here, 5:25 p.m. and I'm hungry and I want to eat before 6 p.m. So it would be really nice if gold would actually start to move either direction. I don't care. Let's see. I think it reclaimed the bearish fair value gap. Yeah. Okay, that's good. See this one on the 11 a.m. candle on the 5 minutes. It looks good. So right now, you guys, this is like a nice opportunity to take a short for whoever did not yet. But please be aware of the fact that your stop loss might actually be big. So we have this fair value gap, and then price retraces into the fair value gap and then creates this 5-minute bearish candle that just closed. And it's creating this. So we first had the fair value gap here and then push into the fair value gap and rejection, and the SMT here confirms the fair value gap, that the fair value gap is going to act as a resistance. All right, so another entry would be sort of like this, with a trade just above that swing high. That, where would I look for take profit? I don't know, maybe 2R, I don't know. But just so you know, okay? And at the same time, so we had that bearish fair value gap, push into it, rejection, and the SMT confirming that the fair value gap might actually act as a resistance. And at the same time, with that rejection candle from the fair value gap, silver is also rejecting after having created a higher high. Oh, what did I do? What did I do? So if this trade, like this is the highest confirmation that I could get for a trade. If this thing's gonna, what am I doing? If this thing's gonna go to stop loss, it's gonna be a completely legit loss, okay? Especially with the setup on the 5 minute. I don't know what is going on here, but I just want to remove that drawing and I can't. This one. Oh no, come on. I can't. I don't know why. Oh. Okay, that one. Good. So yeah, we'll see. So we have a 1 minute entry, all right? And a 5 minute entry. So let's see what's gonna happen. So we could just extend this like this SMT, okay, from 1050 to 11:15, and it's the exact, well, it's not actually the exact same highs, but it's 5 minute delayed, but it's still okay. And which means that, like, the only thing that's causing me, it's actually not causing me anything, but it's something that there might still be an obstacle, is this BISI over here, this bullish fair value gap. Because you see, just as we had this bearish SMT, okay, over here, that's announcing some sort of weakness coming on gold, we also have in here, it looks as if price is creating like relatively equal lows over here, whereas for silver, it's just definitely creating higher lows, you know? And yeah, that could be the obstacle. But we will see. We shall see, you guys. Any higher time frame reasons or PDRAs that price might want to go to? 15 minutes. Yeah, 30 minute doesn't really look that good, to be honest with you. I'm gonna mark this up in here. because it's a 30-minute BISI. and I want to pay attention to whether we're going to have any sort of reaction from there. So this is M30. All right, let's see. And what about the 1 hour? Not really. Okay, we'll see. Oh, Jesus. Silver still seems to be wanting to respecting the bullish order flow. Based on the 5-minute setup, is it possible to adjust the stop loss and put it above the last bearish candle? That's where it is. It's above the last bearish candle. But see, again, what I don't like, okay? The story that's being told right now doesn't really support the idea that I'm looking for. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Okay? A trade is a trade. So you see this rejection here from that bearish order block, okay? Like if price goes above that area, okay, it's game over. It should be out of the trade, out of shorts, because it already rejected from there, okay? So there's no reason why it would go back up there. So if it doesn't go back there to reject, because it already did that, like, you know, then it means that it just wants to push through that area. So just so you know, okay, I'm only in the 1 minute entry. That's it. The 5 minute I didn't take because I'm already with the 1 minute trade. So it doesn't make sense to take the same trade at the same, like if I would have gotten like an entry that would have been higher, then yes, but it doesn't make sense to take a second entry, add more risk at the same entry area, you know? It doesn't really make sense. And see this 5 minute SIBI, this one, yeah, it seems to be inverted. It seems to be inverted right now. All right, so if I would be in the 5-minute trade, I would be out, and it took me out on the one. Yeah, it took me out on my trade on the 1 minute. So that's that. An L. An L. It is what it is. All right, guys. Well, that was about it. How about right now? Plot twist. It starts to move down. Oh my God. Yeah. This, okay. Think about it. All those times when people were saying, well, if you want to trade SMT, you want to trade the weaker pair, you know? Well, gold in this case was the weaker pair, and we traded a short. Yeah. Anyway, the weaker pair because it created a lower high. Anyway, you guys, well, that was about it. No reason to keep the live stream on. So I'll see you guys. So tomorrow there won't be a live stream, and I'm not sure if there's going to be a live stream on Monday, but I'll let you know on my Telegram, on my Instagram, and wherever. So yeah, talk to you guys either Monday, but Tuesday, talk to you for sure. All right. Thank you again for being here. Bye.